How on earth do you have time to train for 7 marathons on all 7 continents in 1 week's time? My name is Caroline Drury. I am currently training for the Great World Race, which is 7 marathons in 1 week on all 7 continents. I'm running this in November 2026, and it is such a massive, massive goal. First question people ask me is why? I have lots of videos on that. You can go through my YouTube channel and see why I'm running the Great World Race. But the next question is, how do you have time for that? Because I have 3 businesses. I'm a wife, I'm a stepmom, I'm a daughter, I'm a human being that would like to live a life. And I think when people think, oh, you're going to do this huge thing, it's going to consume you. And no. It is a very big goal, but I've had to get very, very clear on what my priorities are. That's what a big goal will do for you. And in order to do that, I had to audit everything else that I was doing. We're going to talk about auditing your habits and auditing your life so that you can tackle a big goal. That big goal might be self-improvement. Maybe you want to tackle becoming a better husband or wife or parent, be a better person at work, fulfill your professional goals. But if you're here, you're probably interested in some fitness goals and might have a really big fitness goal as well. I'm going to talk more about doing an audit and then also highlight where you can find some more information. We're really, really good at doing a lot of busy work. I am an expert at doing busy work. What having monstrous fitness goals has taught me is that I have no room for non-essentials. And non-essentials usually are the busy work. I'm going to take you through a series of questions that I got from the Full Focus company. I did not come up with these, so I want to be super clear that these are not mine. But I love this framework for auditing yourself and what you're doing. If you buy the Full Focus Planner, you can even use my code, Caroline10, it gets you 10% off. I love this planner. I've used it since 2017. So at the end of every week, you do something called the weekly review and the weekly preview. And within this, you set 3 big goals for the next week. There are 3 things you must do. They are important and they are maybe not urgent, but some stuff is riding on them. So you're going to set 3 of those. The next thing is these questions. What will you keep doing from last week? What will you stop doing? What will you start doing? And what will you improve upon? Now, what these questions illuminated for me when I did this week after week is that things started showing up all the time. Oh, I'm going to stop spending too much time answering my emails next week. I'm going to stop spending so much time on stupid emails next week. I'm going to stop spending so much time on stupid emails. And it's at some point you're like, oh my goodness, Caroline, stop spending so much time on stupid emails. And that's the busy work. Yes, we all have emails we need to reply to, okay? But I got obsessed with email inbox 0, and that didn't need to be that way, but it kept me busy. You'll find out where you are really repeating things that you shouldn't be, things that can be eliminated, delegated if you've got the opportunity to do that. But also, I really like the questions of what will you keep? Because those good habits are going to reinforce the structures that you need as you go into training for a big race or an Ironman or your first 5K or starting that business. The things you're doing really well that are working are going to inform the rest of the things that you need to do to get done what you need to get done to make your goals happen. I remember when I first started getting up really early and I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I can get everything I need to get done for me, my fitness, all these, I can get this done early. Nobody needs me from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. This is amazing. I'm going to keep that, keep getting up at 4 a.m. The next week, keep getting up at 4 a.m. because I started to find I was just winning. I was just winning the day. That's the only way I can describe it. And it's been years now. I'm still getting up at 4 and I still win most days. I'm not perfect every day. I don't get my entire to-do list done each day, but I finish most days feeling like I'm winning at things. Like I'm doing life. I'm winning at this. That's a pretty good feeling. Write down every week what you will keep. What will you start doing? I know there were times when I was meal prepping and I wasn't portioning out my actual meals. Now I really like to grab and go. I do not like the food scale. I love macros. I do not like the food scale. I find it to be cumbersome. It's invasive in life. So what will I start doing? Portioning out all my meals each week. I found that once I had all my foods prepped, like batch prepped proteins, batch prepped carbohydrates, that I could then portion them and I can just grab meals and go. And it was like, start putting your foods in containers so you can grab and go. Okay, that worked for breakfast. Ooh, let's do it for lunch too. Those good things will start to reinforce the other things you need to build. What will you stop doing? I've already illuminated that. My big one was stop doing stupid emails. Stop scrolling on Instagram. Stop scrolling. I'm going to nip that one pretty well in the butt. But that's a really big one. And what will you improve upon? If I saw myself progressing when I was trying to give up doom scrolling, okay, you got yourself down to 20 minutes. Keep improving upon it because you want to reinforce the things that you're working on. So this is a really good way to get clear on where you're wasting time and then also what you're doing that you can build upon. Next is you really got to look at your calendar. I recommend to people that they wipe their calendar clean. Wipe it clean. If you feel you're chasing your calendar and your life is happening to you, you are not happening to your life, and you're trying to add fitness into your life, you're going to feel that at a part-time job because you've probably got way too many things going on in your calendar, and you might not be very much in there. So I tell people, wipe your calendar clean. Put first in there, what are the things that you need to do for you to make your goal happen? So for me, that's weekly meal prep. And in order to meal prep, I have to plan my macros. I have to grocery shop. So I got to work backwards. Date night with my husband. That's really important. The days I call my dad, call my parents. That's important to me. I put my workouts in my calendar, all those things. The things that I need and that are my absolute responsibilities, I put those in first. And then other things, taking people, if you've got kids, taking people to soccer practice, or if you have aging parents, taking them to their doctor's appointments. You got to add those things in. Obviously, you have to have this thing that's a job because we all need money. So you got to put that in. It's very important. When you do that, when you actually start with yourself first and your priorities and things you need to get done for your priorities, and then you put your work on top of that and your other responsibilities, we don't have much capacity left. So if you're really, really going to be committed to a big goal and you haven't been able to be committed to a big goal, there's probably a problem in your priorities and where they are in or not in your calendar. So wipe your calendar clean, start from the foundation up. You, your family, your work, and then anything else that comes in, you're going to be able to look at that structure and that system and be like, I don't have time to be on another cupcake committee. I can't do that volunteering thing. Oh, but I can do that one a month out because that's actually really important to me, my value system. I'm going to do that one. I got to say no to this one. It gives you something to reference your capacity to, because we often have a really challenging time saying no. My name is Caroline. I am a recovering people pleaser, but I'm learning now that I look at my calendar, I'm like, my bucket is full. If we're going for a goal and we just try to add it on to everything else, is that we think, okay, I got to be more disciplined. Discipline is awesome. I rely on it so much, but we can be burning out, and take this from someone who's done it, and just say that we're being disciplined. There is a fine line. And if we don't get really clear about where our capacity limit is in our life, because I am not about doing this training and having family life suffer. That's a non-negotiable. If my family life was going to suffer, if my relationship with my husband was going to suffer, I would not be doing any of this. But I've put it in its own box. It doesn't intrude on our marriage. We actually do a lot of training together now, which is really fun. If it intruded on my ability to go up and visit my parents, my dad's had some strokes, I would not be doing any of this, or I amend things. Before I ran the marathon in June, the week before that, I was up visiting my parents because I was like, well, I'm going to run so many marathons. My parents are only here for a limited time. I'm going to let my marathon probably suffer because I'm going to go visit them. That's the more important priority. I could see in my calendar that was going to be the trade-off, and that was a trade-off that I was okay making. And I'm also okay saying no to some other things if I've got a really important training week. It gives us checks and balances because we cannot have discipline disguised as burnout. It's not worth it. And also it will help us not mistake commitment for compulsion. If we're training and other areas of our life are deeply sacrificed in an unhealthy way, that's compulsion. Commitment is amazing. I'm here all day for the committed people. But if your marriage starts suffering, if your family life starts suffering, I will always have a conversation with my husband before I start training it for anything, because how do you feel about this? And even training for the Great World Race, I thought he was going to be like, that's insane. How are you going to do that? But the moment I said it, he's like, of course you're going to do it. So he knew exactly what was going to be involved in something like that. But he also really trusts me at this point because I've trained for a lot of things. I did a bodybuilding show and trained for marathons, and he hasn't, at least to my knowledge, felt left behind. That's what these checks and balances do. That's what this audit will do. That's what rebuilding your calendar and your priorities from the foundation up. If you want a full focus planner, I'll put the link in the description. Use the code Caroline10. I've been using this since 2017. It has changed my world. I love this planner. And anything else that I can help you with, if you have a big goal and you're like, oh, I'm stuck, please message me. I love hacking calendars. I love hacking macros. I love hacking systems. This is my superpower. So if you need help, just let me know. Okay. Have an amazing day. I hope this was helpful. Ciao.